Welcome to Base Camp. I'm Pastor Pat. Wow. Okay. Hi, Melvin.
Well, howdy, Pastor Pat. You like my cool dance moves?
They are definitely something else.
Well, they sure are. Hey, that's what my teachers used to say about my homework. Melvin, this paper sure is something else. And my coaches about my athletic prowess. Melvin, that play was definitely something else. Oh, maybe I'm just something else.
That is certainly one way to describe you.
What else do you think I might be?
I think we're getting distracted. What's up with the dancing?
I've been practicing.
We can tell. But why?
We've been reading about David, right?
Right.
He is one cool dude.
Hard to argue with that.
He knocked down a giant with a slingshot. He became king of Israel. He could sing.
Yeah, he even wrote a bunch of songs. You can find a lot of them in the book of Psalms in the Bible.
Exactly. One cool dude.
Sure was.
Well, I want to be a cool dude like David. At first, I practiced with my slingshot, but then I noticed something.
No giants around?
Nary a one. How am I supposed to knock down giants with a slingshot when there aren't any around?
That is a conundrum.
You're telling me. So, if I want to be like David, I'm going to have to do something else. So then I thought, well, I could be king. Not only would I be like David, but I'd be in charge of everything.
I think Nada tried to do something like that once.
Yep, he sure did. And it didn't work out for him. You know why?
Why?
Because America is a democracy. Turns out we don't even have a king.
Who knew?
Right? So then I thought, time to go the music route. I figured since David wrote and sang songs, that's what I do.
Oh boy.
Yep. I knew you'd be excited about it. I wrote a song.
Please tell me that you're not going to...
My name is Melvin. I know someone named Kelvin. Something rhymes with Kelvin.
That is also definitely something else.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I couldn't come up with no more lyrics, so that's all I've got.
How sad.
But maybe that's okay. I could just sing that line over and over and over and over and over again.
I'd advise against it.
Maybe you're right. Although, I do know some good worship leaders who do it.
Dancing! You were telling us why you were dancing.
I was just getting to that. So, you see my problem.
You want to be like David, but no giants, no kings, and singer-songwriter is out.
Yep. But then we started talking about 2 Samuel chapter 6. And in there...
David danced before the Lord?
Yep, again. And dancing is definitely something that I can do. Now, I can be cool like David, and everyone will think that I'm awesome.
Maybe, but maybe not.
What do you mean? I mean, just look at these moves.
Again, your moves are definitely something else, but that's not the issue. Not everyone appreciated David's
I
dancing.
suppose some people were probably jealous, but as long as his friends and family knew how cool he was.
It was his wife, Michael, who didn't like it.
What?
Yep. Here, I'll read it to you. 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 14 through 16. Wearing a linen ephod, David was dancing before the Lord with all his might, while he and all Israel were bringing up the ark of the Lord with shouts and the sound of trumpets. As the ark of the Lord was entering the city of David, Michal, daughter of Saul, that's David's wife, watched from a window. And when she saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, she despised him in her heart. And then in verse 20, when David returned home to bless his household, Michal, daughter of Saul, came out to meet him and said, "How the king of Israel has distinguished himself today, going around half naked in full view of the slave girls of his servants, as any vulgar fellow would."
Wait a minute. What did she say about how David danced? Did she say he was half naked? Oh, not only will I not look cool, but now I gotta do it in my tighty whities? Well, I don't like it, but if I'm gonna be like David, I suppose...
Wait. There's debate about whether she meant that David literally was dancing around half naked, or just that he wasn't acting in the dignified manner that she thought that he should, since he was the king.
Oh, good, because I didn't really want to show everyone my underwear.
And I'm pretty sure we didn't want to see it.
But there's still the whole issue with looking cool. I wanted to dance like David because I want people to think that I'm as nifty as David was.
Well, that's just the thing. David wasn't dancing for everyone else. He was dancing for the Lord. He was excited about what God was doing and just celebrating him. In fact, that's what David told Michal in 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 21. David said to Michal, "It was before the Lord who chose me rather than your father or anyone from his house when he appointed me ruler over the Lord's people Israel. I will celebrate before the Lord."
Didn't David care that other people might think he was kind of silly?
In verse 22a, David goes on to say, "I will become even more undignified than this, and I will be humiliated in my own eyes."
So David didn't care.
Nope. The Bible calls David a man after God's own heart, and part of that was that he cared much more about serving and honoring God than what other people thought of him. In fact, that was one of the big differences between David and King Saul. Saul very much cared what people thought of him, to the point that he would disobey God if he thought it would make the people like him more. And it sounds like Saul's daughter, Michal, may have picked up a bit of his way of thinking.
Well, that's not good.
No, it isn't. That led to struggles in David and Michal's relationship. The thing is, if we're going to live for God, we've got to be much more interested in his opinions than in people's. There are going to be times that living to please God is going to cause others to think that we're pretty foolish, and we've got to be okay with that.
Doing things that make people think that you're foolish. Well, that could be hard.
Harder for some than for others, but yeah. Nobody likes looking silly. But remember, when you're doing it for God, the one whose opinion really matters will be very proud of you.
Well, that's true. And I guess as long as I'm pleasing him, I'm happy. Well, all right, that settles it. I need to go practice my dancing some more.
But I thought that you weren't dancing to make people think that you're cool anymore, that you were just going to be trying to please God.
Yep. And since it's for God, I want my dancing to be the best it possibly could be.
That's a great attitude. See you, Melvin. Living for God It won't always please everyone else, but it will please the Lord. And His opinion is the one that really matters. Thanks for joining us today for Base Camp, a ministry of Summit Church in beautiful Bozeman, Montana. You can join us every Sunday at 10 o'clock for our services, or keep tuning in online. Our website is summitchurchmt.com, and you can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Summit Church MT. Our children's ministry Facebook page is Base Camp Kids Min. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Now, don't do all those things just for me, but do them for God. All right, I will see you next time. Bye!
You know, I'm glad that Pastor Pat said that I don't have to go dancing around in my underwear, but now, what am I going to do with these?